Are you trying to build the best team in Madden? Well, head on over to instantmuttcoins.com to avoid the packs, save some racks. Link is in the description below. Use code CC now for 20% off. Hey, what is going on, Madden family? We're going to be talking about ranking the tight ends in the game. I know this is probably not the most exciting video, and this one's a little more obvious, but we're just continuing on with it. We're going to be starting defense next week, and we're going to kind of continue to do this throughout the year much more frequently. You guys seem to really enjoy this, so this is something I want to be doing. So hit the like for me. Let's roll into it, okay? So I'm going to classify tight ends into basically three categories here, right? And there's some overlapping that goes on. So there's tight ends over the weight limit, 245. There's the ones under, and there's the ones who can hit route running thresholds. Okay, it's pretty basic. It really is. So I'm not going to necessarily tell you like this is the best tight end, this is the worst tight end, etc. But I want to mention these things about these cards that you may not realize and know. So we'll start out with Tony. So we'll start out with the ones that I have personally, right? So Tony, look, this card looks phenomenal, right? He looks like Jerry Rice, basically, with better run blocking and bigger. And while Tony is great, he's a vertical threat tight end, so that hurts him a little bit. But we see his weight there is 243. What that means is since he's not 245, he can't air truck, and air trucking is really crucial for when you throw a pass to the flat to the tight end, you can truck and get upfield really quickly. So while Tony is great at actually catching the ball, running routes, doing all that, the things that hurt him are his size in the game, right? And his archetype. He doesn't get the routes for one. Now that's sort of a big deal to me. That's the ability most people use on tight ends anyway. Most of the other stuff that they can get is fairly standard anyway, you know. But we see here tight end apprentice is 2 here. For possession type tight ends, it's going to be 1, right? So that hurts him a little bit. But with where we are in the game right now, there's not this super tight end out there that is perfect yet. So we look at the brand new Jermichael Finley that dropped. Again, he is basically a Tony Gonzalez, one or the other. They're basically the same card, except Finley, we see at 247 pounds, means that he can air truck. So I actually would put him up slightly ahead of Tony. Right now, for me, I've got Tony as tight end 1 because he's part of the theme team. He gets a little more speed, but otherwise these cards are super similar. If you go compare them on Mutthead or whatnot, you're going to see that these cards are near identical, right? So both really good, but this one does air truck, so I would give Finley on a general team a slight boost personally. All right, as we get into the more tight ends, we're going to get into someone like a Jonnu Smith here, right? Jonnu, who you can upgrade, right? You can upgrade him here using the hot cocoa and all that, and I'm not sure how it's going to work after, but at his 92 overall, again, he's a vertical threat, nice and fast, cheaper, but again, you see his weight, he's going to hit the mark. So Jonnu's still a really good tight end, especially for the price he is, because getting Tony and Finley are really expensive cards. Now, obviously the downside to a card like Jonnu is his route running isn't the best, but you can get his medium route running up to 90 pretty easy. His short is there, his deep is pretty close. This Jonnu Smith is a really he's a really good tight end. I'm going to be upgrading him just to have him just in case, right? If I ever want to sort of go that route and use him, or if I need him down the line. But they also gave us that Evan Ingram card as well, which falls in line, and I'm going to put him below Jonnu there personally. So where we have Evan Ingram over here, where we see his weight is 240, so obviously he's going to be a little bit less. He's not going to be as good. Now, they did not do this card any favors. He is going to be hard to get to the route running stuff as well. You know, you want to get to 90 there. So unfortunately, Ingram's just not the best there, right? Again, these archetypes, as we see here. And then we get a card like Vernon Davis. Again, another vertical threat. The great thing about Vernon is that he's fast. The bad thing about him is he's 1 pound. 1 pound, right? But Vernon's still really good. I really enjoyed using him, especially early on. He was considered fast at the time, right? He's kind of outworn his welcome. You got to imagine he's going to get like a combine card or something along those lines. Fits well on a lot of these seam teams too, so that's kind of a bonus with him. But again, a vertical threat, doesn't hit the mark. He's kind of outstayed his welcome there, right? Especially for his price point. I'm still going to be going with the Jonnu. Like if I need one, I'm going Jonnu at this point still, for the price. Now when we get to Kittle here, right? Kittle is a possession tight end. If you fully upgrade him, he's still a little slow, which is a problem with him. But Kittle is a run blocker, right? He's got the run blocking, he's got possession tight end. It means he can get a tight end apprentice for 1. Kittle's a really good card. But again, we're talking 90 speed with sprinter, right? As opposed to 94. So is that 1 AP and that extra run blocking worth it to you? That's up to you, right? Kittle still, if we look at his route running, he's going to hit them. He's going to hit the marks. Now he's not going to hit the deep mark. He is far from the deep mark, which is kind of odd. I sort of think of him more as a deep threat personally, but maybe I'm wrong there. I'm not an avid 49ers watcher. I haven't seen all their games, but still, I like this card, right? I feel like though this version of Kittle in this game is like the worst he's been as well. So interesting, but I know a lot of people will still probably rock a George Kittle. Now Chris Cooley here is definitely more who I like, right? You can get him pretty cheap, right? He's going to hit the weight limits. He hits the route running thresholds just fine. His run block is still good. I like Cooley. Now, when Cooley gets a later card, Cooley's next upgrade is going to be pretty sick because it's going to be a while probably. But we see there again, his weight hits the thresholds that we need. He gets the routes for 1. Cooley has the potential to be the best tight end in the game come near the end of the game, right? For sure. That's the way it looks to me personally. Now there's some other guys here like Waller, right? Who we all like Waller, right? And again, he hits the routes. He hits the weight there. Waller, again, sort of was really, really good for a long time, but has sort of fallen out a little bit. Just kind of got passed by, basically. Unfortunate. Now, if Waller gets a Team of the Year card, which he could, I mean, Kelsey deserves it, right? But we'll see where they go with that. We'll see where they go. These are all these cards are usable, right? If you do not need to put routes on your tight end, pick the fastest one with the best route running and the highest weight and just go. You know what I mean? Like it's not that complicated at the position here, and there are a ton of options. There are a ton of cheap options. We don't need a Tony Gonzalez or Jermichael Finley. They're great, right? We love those cards, but I think that there's other ways to go about it. Now, other cards which could be good in the future, Hawkinson is right there as well. Mark Andrews is right there as well. But again, obviously the one card which is probably going to get an upgrade is Travis Kelce, right? The problem that he's going to hit is he's just not going to be that fast unless they really juice his card. We see he's 90 overall, 84 speed. If he gets a 96 Team of the Year card, right, goes up to 97, he's going to be still slower than the Jonnus, Finley, Tony. He's going to be slower than all those cards still. He's going to be good. He's a vertical threat, but he's going to be very similar to Jermichael Finley. It just depends where you want to go with that, right? I mean, it does. I mean, we like the card. It's just probably not going to be there. Now, one card that has a lot of potential going up is Shannon Sharpe. Now, he is light. He's the lightest tight end we've seen here. But being a possession tight end, again, he's going to get the 1 AP routes. He's going to be nice and fast as well, hopefully. His run block is there. He's kind of like a mix of Kittle. Like a faster Kittle. Sort of, right? Has potential, right? Now, there's a card here, which is a good card. It's a good card. That I don't know is ever going to really be that good. Potentially is Gronk. Now, I think Gronk he's a tank. Gronk is a tank. I've used Gronk. He's a tank. it's just gonna be he's never gonna be fast. He's never gonna be fast. Not a bad second tight end or a third tight end. A lot of coins to spend for that. But that's where Gronk falls really in the depth chart. And then we obviously have Taysom Hill, out of position, vertical threat. Okay, again, small. He's small. He's fast. You can get him to 90 medium. His run block is good, but he's probably never going to get another card, so that hurts him, right? So for me right now, in my personal rankings, right, if I said, hey, if coin is no object, Finley, right? It's Finley. If coin is an object, it's Jonnu, right? And it's not even that Jonnu was just like this cheap budget option. Jonnu is like number 3, maybe even ahead of Tony, right? You could convince me of that because of the air trucking, right? So if you have one tight end, I think you need to get Jonnu, right? Make sure you get it done. There's time still where he's going to be cheap for sure. So go check him out for sure. The tight ends, like they're pretty basic. Whenever a new tight end comes out, all you really want to look at is their speed, their route running, their run block, and their weight. If you can figure those things out, be good. If you want one AP for your routes, again, look at possession tight ends. If not, you don't use them, you don't need to worry about it. So go with that. Be great. Take care. I'm out. Peace.